Broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good morning. Welcome to Landis's Agronomy Insights and ROI Tool, a webinar. This is Alicia Hugh, and I am serving as your moderator this morning. Before I turn it over to our speakers this morning, I just wanted to run through a few housekeeping items. You are on mute, so if you'd like to ask a question, you can take yourself off of mute, or you can type it in the questions or chat box in your webinar tool. We also will, like I said, have time for questions at the end, or if you have a question in the middle of the session, just send us a note and we'll get it asked for you. With that, I will turn it over to Molly Toot with Land O'Lakes Winfield and Ryan Risdall, part of our Landis agronomy team. Ryan, good morning.
Thanks, Alicia. Ryan Risdall. I'm leading the agronomy team here at Landis. Thanks for your time this morning. So we wanted to bring you just a short conversation around the opportunity that we're engaging with Land O'Lakes Truterra around soil health, sustainability, and the opportunities that can bring our member owners. So really, when we think about the purpose of Landis Cooperative and what we do for our membership, it's about advocating in the supply chain for our membership and finding opportunities, bringing those opportunities back to the membership, whether it be profitability opportunities or ways to better their farms, or just better ways to work in a business practice for production agriculture. So Land O'Lakes Truterra is a great opportunity for Landis and our members, because as we think about opportunities in the supply chain, you know, and as a cooperative, those opportunities that consumers want, how to quantify and capture those opportunities in the consumer market, leverage and utilize the assets that we have here at Landis that our members have built up over the years, and then returning those directly down to the membership in ways that benefit our members in profit opportunities, marketing opportunities, and just better ways of taking care of their land and their soil. So really, when we started down this path, I've been with the organization for 2.5 years. When we started down this path, we found a lot of complexity, a lot of conversation, a lot of complexity, a lot of confusion, and quite frankly, a lot of buzzwords around sustainability, soil health. How do you quantify that? What do consumers really want? And how do you really find a market leader to help you capture those opportunities? What we've come to realize is that one of our cooperatives that we own, Land O'Lakes, has spent a dramatic amount of time and resource to build up the Truterra system and leveraging that in that consumer marketplace to really take care of the buzzword issue, if you will, and really quantify some scores and some opportunities for producers to take advantage of what consumers are really wanting in the marketplace these days. So that's what Molly's going to show us is really some of those, the output that our member owners will see when they participate with us in this program. We have the opportunity of working with up to 200,000 acres this year. We think that's a very awesome opportunity for Landis and the membership. Some of the things you're going to see are a scoring system, which is widely known and recognized throughout the industry, which enables producers and Landis to leverage what we have from a supply chain story, and also gives the consumers the confidence that there's a system in place that gives them what they're desiring for their demand and what they want for their food production system. So also there are opportunities around soil conservation programs through the government. There's a lot of clarity within that in the program that Molly will briefly discuss. And all these conversations at the end of this webinar, when you participate in the program, Alicia will give you a brief tour of how to sign up, or how to authorize us to use your data to drive these insights for you, and your FSA will follow up after that with the details that Molly will go through. So it's an exciting opportunity for Landis. We're really excited about the partnership with Land O'Lakes. I'm really excited about bringing these opportunities to you, the producers and the farmers and the member owners. So with that, I'll turn it over to Molly and then we'll circle back around at the end if you have any questions. So, Molly, it's all yours.
Great. Thanks, Ryan, and thanks to Alicia and Landis Co-op as a whole. I'm really excited to be here today and talk to you about Truterra. As a Ames girl and working in Iowa all my life, it's really fun to get to start working now with Landis on this initiative. So I'm going to show my screen. Ryan, if you'll just let me know that you're able to see it, that would be great. Okay, great. So I'm going to go over a presentation. I'm going to do this very quickly. I think it's just more effective to be able to show you some of the things that are available in this new system. To give you just a little bit of background, I've been working with this platform now for 6 years. We've been working with this through Land O'Lakes for the past 4. It's been a very exciting time. We've really expanded and grown over the past 6 years. So when we talk about sustainability at Truterra, what we're really talking about is supporting profitability and resiliency for farmers. I've said all along that if we can't show the economics behind what we're doing, then there's no discussion really to have. So we want to talk to you about profitability, but also the resiliency and the sustainability of your farm and your land. So clearly it's also about protecting those natural resources to keep that good ground and that good land available for longer. So when we talk about Truterra, obviously the question is always going to be what's in it for the grower. What we're going to be able to do, what Landis is going to be able to do with their team, is work with you, the grower, one-on-one to tackle environmental concerns, but do that with an ROI, profit-focused mindset. And we're going to go through that real briefly in the next few slides. Optimize profitability while minimizing the environmental impact. The other thing that's really been, we've received a lot of feedback over the past 18 months while we've had this tool available, is really negotiation power with landowner. It gives you an opportunity to take some new information to the landowner and then identify next steps for improvement. What can you do? What we're really looking at is continuous improvement over time. We're not looking at solving all the problems in one season on every field. It's really identifying each next step each season to improve your overall operation. And it really allows you to gain deeper insights to create that customized solution by acre, by field. This really goes down to a sub-field level. So the Insights Engine, Truterra as a whole is a platform where we are talking about sustainability, profitability for the farmer. The Insights Engine, the Truterra Insights Engine, is the software or the tool that really is measuring, is capturing that data and measuring what's happening in the field. So the analytics that are available through Landis, once we have the data in the system, the analytics that are available and that the field sales agronomists will be having conversations with the grower are around the Truterra Insight Score that Ryan briefly mentioned. You'll see that in the upper left-hand corner of this, and I'm going to go into this a little bit deeper here in a minute. Yield and profit insights, overall nitrogen use efficiency. We really get into some soil quality and erosion insights. We're really looking at what is the loss of soil and what does that equate to in dollars. And then we are connected to Field Print Calculator through Field to Market. That may not affect anybody here right now, but it may in the future. So today, the Insights Engine is the industry-leading stewardship platform. Again, we're gaining field by field insights and opportunities to advance economic and environmental performance. So again, you'll see the Insight Score that Ryan talked about that's becoming more and more widely recognized. And this is a score, it's based on a 0 to 100 scale. And again, I'm going to go a little bit more into that here, I think, on the next slide. Then we turn that into profits. Where are you making your most money and where are you losing the most money? And how can we make some changes on that to improve overall profits? And then the soil insights and looking at overall erosion. We're introducing precision soil insights. So again, more information on erosion, both from sheet and rill erosion and from wind erosion. We really tackle the soil carbon trend. This is something that is really important, as we all know, and becomes more and more important as people are talking about carbon credits in the future. This is a key piece there, and also the same with the greenhouse gas emissions. Nitrogen use efficiency, this is a great tool that we have that your field sales agronomist, once we have your data in the system, will be able to have this conversation with you. And it's really estimated rates of the nitrogen use efficiency in your subfield area based on the soil type. So this is just a screenshot, but in the actual live demo or in the live program, we can slide this around and see where is your most effective, most profitable ground based on NUE, and where are there areas for improvement, and then how can we do that? So obviously the areas in red are areas that we would want to look at and what can be done to improve that from a profitability and NUE perspective. Soil insights. So this is really an area that this is a one-stop shop to really look at your soil health trends and opportunities. We're taking into consideration your soil lab results, soil health testing, the soil carbon maps, and then the real-time soil results modeling. And this is really going to tell you where you have declining and where you have improving soil-related metrics. A key piece to keep that soil on the ground and what can be the best practices to improve that. So once the data is entered in the system, and we collect, and this always sounds a little scary at first, but we collect 113 data points for every field. Now with those data points, when the field boundary is entered into the system, about 60 to 70% of that comes with that. So that has to do with the soil type, the slope, that kind of information comes in with. And then we look at 3 different areas to get that data with the field sales agronomist and conversation with the grower. So we're looking at management stewardship, soil and nutrient loss mitigation, and conservation adoption. And then each of those areas have sub areas underneath. Once all that information is entered, it will give you a score on 0 to 100. So in this particular case, the score is 37. What's really important to understand here is a score of 37 in some people's mind when you go to 0 to 100 it would be like a failing score. That is not the case with this. That is a starting point. That's where this grower is today, and how can he improve that from both a stewardship score but also a profitability standpoint. So the field level stewardship is high, the soil and nutrient loss mitigation is high, and conservation adoption is moderate. And you'll see it runs from a basic to advanced scale. We're also looking at these 5 stewardship indicators as we talked about. The nitrogen use efficiency, the 2 types of erosion, soil quality, and net GHG. So what you're seeing here, where they have like for instance, the sheet and rill erosion, the predominant soil is showing a 1.4 tons per acre per year, but the highest erosion is at 12.5. So we would want to drill into that and see why is that happening and what can we do to improve that. What we can do then is we can take this information and we can run a simulation. So in this case, for the example that we do in this screenshot, is we're going into soil management. So what they had before and what we're changing it to, we changed it to strip till, which is a 70% residue, and we're changing cover crops to yes, with those being aerial interseeded. So those are the changes that we're making, and it's just a simulation. We can play around with this to see what this does for this farmer in this field to that score and profitability. So for this field, we're looking at 266 acres of corn. And we're going to run the simulation based on making those changes. When we run that simulation by making those changes, you'll see the score goes up 28 points to 65. You'll see the differences in the stewardship indicators in the bottom left of this screen and how that changes the overall score, where you see the hollow dots underneath the measurement scores for each of the categories. So it's moved them in soil management from moderate to advanced, soil runoff from high to advanced. So it's making some improvements there. It's making some improvements on the score. What does it do to profitability? So on your Profits Insight screen, you'll see on the left side is the current practices. Those are the practices that were on that field for that year. On the right side, the shaded side, is now showing what those current practices are compared with what we put in there for the simulation. So that was the conservation cover, the cover crops is what we put in there. What that does, when you see your Profits Insights report, you're going to see the profit in this case went from negative $5 to a positive over $2. You're going to see your ROI from a negative 0.65 to a 0.33. So for your profits piece, you can see how it improves your overall profit. From the stewardship piece will be the middle part of this screen. What does it do to your overall stewardship performance? Excuse me. And you'll see some changes there. Like Ryan mentioned when he was opening this up, in your bottom right-hand corner now, what we've done here is we have potential revenue opportunities through the USDA, and this is at the state level, and it's updated annually. So based on those changes that we made in this simulation, there are opportunities for this grower to go into the local NRCS office and qualify for programs through, for instance, the conservation crop rotation, which is program 328 through NRCS. The number is right there. And the available dollars are $1.23 to $3.27 an acre. All those programs that are available to this grower based on those changes are shown at the bottom, and you can just take this report into your NRCS office. Those dollars are not included in your total profit and ROI. So just keep that in mind. That's not included in that. It's based that profit and ROI is in the background. Also, you'll see that in addition to the profit and ROI, you'll see what it does for stewardship performance estimate. So the soil erosion on the left went from 18 dump trucks per acre to 9 dump trucks per acre. We measure that in dump trucks, hoping that will give people a better idea of how much soil they're actually losing. The soil quality index went up to 0.8, and the greenhouse gas emissions went from 37 to 16. So again, you can see, and that's cars on the road, is what that's equivalent to, 37 cars on the road to 16.58 cars on the road. So you'll see again what this does is the simulation that we can do with maybe changing some practices for each field, how that affects your overall stewardship as well as your profit. So I did that very quickly. I went through a lot of information that we normally would do in about an hour. I did that in about 10 minutes. So any questions, or Ryan, if you wanted to add any comments to that?
Yeah, just a couple comments. So as you've seen what Molly went through as we've talked about sustainability or talked about soil health in the past, I mean, it was a lot of squishy conversations without a lot of analytics to it. So hopefully what you've seen in this program is when you participate, you will get these insights, these visuals, these numbers, these data points that give you the opportunity to have a good conversation with your FSA around, if I make this decision, if I change this, how does it impact the profitability of my operation, good or bad? You could throw every single practice at an acre and it might not be the right thing to do. At least now you can have this conversation of incremental change. What's my base score today? If it's a 25, then okay, on this acre that's been in my family for 100 years, it's a 25. If I do this, it'll be a 35. And then what's the impact of that? So it's a good tool to have a lot of in-depth conversations around your operation, around your farm. What does that mean to profitability? I know growing up on a farm, sometimes the trips to the FSA office can be quite confusing. At least now you've got the specific programs and the numbers and everything that you can just walk in the door and say, here's what I've done, and they'll begin to recognize the Truterra report that you bring in and say, here are the programs that I qualify for. Now what's the next steps? So for our member owners, it's a great opportunity to clarify some things around their operations, and everybody that I've met and spoken with is curious about soil health and the sustainability conversation. So this helps add a lot of clarity to that. And also from an organizational standpoint, from a supply chain partner that that Landis is, that you guys own, it gives us a great resource when a food company says, I would like X amount of acres that have a score of this or above. It gives us the tools to work with Land O'Lakes and source those products for those food companies. So with that, I think we'll switch it over to Alicia, and she'll give us a brief tour of how to sign up through the portal. And then after she's done with that, we will take any questions. And reminder, the questions, type them in the chat box, which is in your webinar tool that should be popped up on your screen. So type those in the chat box and we'll answer those after Alicia's done.
Good morning. It looks like you guys can see my screen. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Excellent. Well, one of the things that excites me so much about this opportunity, in addition to all of the things that it offers to you, we're also trying to make it as easy for you as a farmer owner as possible. So the slides that Molly went through show the Truterra tool itself. Lots of opportunities to put in data, lots of opportunities to run scenarios, but it's also a new tool to learn, and there's lots and lots of tools out there that you can be using. So for today, what we want to do at Landis is make this as absolutely simple for you as possible. So your field sales agronomist will do all the hard work. So you guys really have some simple steps. So all you need to do is go to your Landis portal, so portal.landiscooperative.com. If you haven't already registered, just register, but I'm going to just show you our farm account here. Log in. And it's always slower when someone else is watching. And then you'll see your portal screen will pop up here. So here's your dashboard, your home page, and then down here in the bottom left-hand corner of your menu on this gray bar, there's a box that says sustainability. So you click on that sustainability box. It tells you a little bit about the Truterra program. If you want, you can link into the Truterra website. It tells you a little bit an overview of what Molly just walked through. All you have to do is hit accept. Now my field sales agronomist is going to be getting in touch with me, so I'm sure Larry will be calling me and saying, "You just signed up, Alicia, tell me more." So then Larry will get my legal acceptance that our farm would like to be enrolled in this project, and he and the Truterra team will work together to fill in all of the data for you. So the reason that we ask you to come into the portal and sign up is that privacy and data stewardship is very important to Landis. So we don't want to just assume that it's okay that we share your data into this Truterra tool. We want your acceptance and your blessing. And so we ask you to go into the portal and to sign up. And that lets us know that, yes, we can share your data with Truterra, and we can get you these really cool reports with all of this information that Molly walked through. So that's the how, really quick.
Okay. Alicia, are there any questions?
It doesn't look like I have any typed in. If anybody on the phone, and it looks like we have a couple on the phone. If anybody on the phone wants to unmute your line and ask questions, you're welcome to do that now. Oh, so it looks like I do have one. What does this cost me as a farmer?
Yeah. So for this first year, is getting the first introductory 200,000 acres in the system, there is no charge for this year. So that's a pretty simple question to answer.
Here's another one. What do I receive? So I assume that means, like, is it a piece of paper? Is it electronic? What does the report look like?
Yeah, either electronic or paper. I mean, you can request your FSA to print out your reports or email them to you, or we'll put them on the portal for you. So I mean, we're very flexible to meet your needs, whatever you want, however you digest information.
They come out of the Insights engine as a PDF file, so they're easy to print or send. Yep.
Yep. So you will receive all the things that Molly went through. You'll receive that in a PDF form.
I don't have any other questions on the tool, and I'm not seeing anybody unmute their lines. So I'll give it back to you to wrap it up, Molly and Ryan. Yeah.
So just thanks again to the Land O'Lakes Truterra team for working with Landis on this endeavor. It's an exciting time. I think it's going to be a great program, and we're looking forward to spending a considerable amount of time with the member owners that participate. After in July and August when we have the data processed, and we're looking forward to next year's growing season already. So we're looking forward for our team to be engaged and to be learning together with our member owners. So I really appreciate everybody's time. Thanks to Molly to joining us early in the morning, and look forward to some good times.
Thanks all. Have a great day.
Yep, thank you.